So are we over-medicating our kids, and could pills be replacing parenting? According to the CDC, about 1 in 5 high school-age boys and 11% of school-age children have been diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. That's ADHD, it's how it's most commonly known. That's up 16% since 2007. The skyrocketing rate has some people concerned that that diagnosis and its medications may be overused in American kids. This story hit the front page of the New York Times and other places yesterday. Bob, were you surprised that the number had, in a decade, gone up 53% of how many people had been diagnosed with ADHD? Now, that's not to take away from those who seriously have the problem, but most of the doctors interviewed said there's no way that all of these kids actually have that diagnosis.
Well, a couple of things to keep in mind. Those two drugs, Adderall and Ritalin, are the two most abused drugs on the street. They're sold for an exorbitant amount of money, and kids are buying them. Part of this is the teachers, frankly, and school administrators don't want hyperactive kids in their classrooms, so they give them drugs to get them calmed down. And if you really do have ADD, it really will calm you down. But the fact of the matter is, there is no way that many more kids could have gotten ADD. I think it's a way for parents and doctors to say, get them out of here.
And it's good for the pharmaceutical industry too, because they get Adderall and Ritalin out there and about. There's no way those stats could possibly be truthful. You can't be treating this many kids with ADHD. Maybe you're just a boring teacher. Maybe there's a chance that that kid would rather be outside.
I don't know, but you can blame the teacher. Should you blame the teacher or the parents?
Well, I would say this. Most little kids are hyperactive. You ever try to coach them, get their attention?
Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I do. Hyperactivity. Oh, you're saying that
Some adults are also
I would probably be diagnosed. I'm doing fine.
You know, it is true that most the counselors in the school system, the health counselors, refer back to parents and say your kid is ADD.
Exactly. What are you supposed to say?
Have you heard about this?
Yeah, it's prevalent. They're called psychostimulants, Adderall and Ritalin. They're not only overprescribed, they're abused. They're abused by the parents of the kids who are being prescribed because they're taking the kids' pills. Hip-hop artists are writing songs about Adderall. Shake your bottle of Adderall in the air. It's probably one of the biggest dangers because it's the hidden abuse because it's prescribed to kids. Kids are actually trading their Adderall and Ritalin for other stuff in school. This is going on. Somewhere around 19 or 20% of all high school boys are on one of these psychostimulants. It's scary, and here's what happens. Later on in life, as adults, 1/3 of those kids who are on Adderall and Ritalin and these other stimulants, psychostimulants, 1/3 of them will still be ADHD, and the other 66%, 57% of those people are addicted to either drugs or alcohol, other drugs or alcohol. It's a bad thing.
I think it's teachers and parents. I think teachers today are very pressured. I think a lot of them are overworked. Some of them may be lazy. I don't know. And parents, they're just dismissing typical childhood behavior as being disruptive. Teachers are doing the same thing. If they're talking about sports and they get really excited, they're like, something's wrong with him. He's not talking about phonics. And I also think it's not just little kids. I think women are abusing Ritalin and Adderall, mothers, because it allows them to focus and lose weight and accomplish a lot in the course of the day.
But if everyone is on Adderall, like of the kids, then why do we have such a child obesity problem if it's supposed to help you lose weight?
It levels you off and mellows you out. It levels you off and mellows you out.
By the way, the other group that's heavy into this is professional golfers because it helps them to conconcentrate on their focus.
I've never heard of this. Taking this
this is a
college kids want to study.
This is a hugely abused subject
that's like no dose.
And you know who prescribes these things? Mostly psychiatrists. And I happened to take a test for ADD, and I was the poster child. But these tests are nebulous, but psychiatrists will write those scripts out left and right.
It's a case where
what's the exit strategy on these drugs? Are you taking it for a reason until you hit maturity? After maturity, is this supposed to get you to a point? There's no exit strategy.
But I think that's the question. One, I don't think we know the long-term effects, and two, what could this cause? I mean, students to not be as social with each other, boys not to act like little boys because they're told they're disruptive and they need to be medicated. I actually think you're right, Bob. I think this is a case where the doctor is sick, maybe not the patient.
No, we're not curing a problem. We're making junkies we're turning kid junkies into adult junkies. Look at the numbers.
And guess what?
Or a drug like that, and almost two-thirds end up abusing something else.
And guess what? To that point, The American Psychiatric Association plans to change the definition of ADHD to allow more people to receive the diagnosis and treatment.
It's going to get worse.
So it's going to broaden it out. You can check our Facebook page because we talked to Dr. Siegel today, Dr. Mark Siegel. So we'll put up that quote on our Facebook page so that you can take a look at that. Coming up, have late night rivals Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon buried the hatchet? Listen.
Tonight, who's gonna host tonight? My ratings were alright. 20 years and I'm still in first place.
More on why they are singing a new tune next on The Five.